What's up, PBS patrons? Today is the day that I show you my PBS Kids and DVD collection so far as of December 15th, 2023. So I only have 3 VHSs of Arthur, and the majority of my PBS Kids shows are on DVD. So let's get down to business. And funny how I said the word business, because first up is Arthur's Pet Business, released on VHS in 1997. Spines. Arthur's Pet Business. How can Arthur prove to his parents that he's ready to take care of a puppy of his own? Get a job, suggests DW. Within 2 days, Arthur's Pet Business has its first client. Meet Jaws, aka Perky. Can Arthur really care for a canine that comes with her own pet food recipes and a long list of pet peeves too? DW the copycat. DW is going through yet another personality change. This time she wants to be just like Arthur. She walks like him, she talks like him, and she follows him wherever he goes. How can Arthur persuade DW that the world is only big enough for one Arthur? And you can see it has the funding over here. It was sponsored by Libby's and Juicy Juice. The next Arthur VHS and second of my current VHS collection is Arthur's Baby, also released on VHS in the year 1997. Arthur is not so sure he's ready for a new baby in the house. As the months fly by, Arthur imagines how his life is about to change, and it isn't a pretty picture. When the baby finally does arrive, it seems as if she doesn't like Arthur very much either. Or does she? The bonus episode DW's baby's description says, living with a baby is no picnic. No one ever told DW that babies cry all the time, throw up on your clothes, and get all the attention. Just how long will baby Kate hang around anyway? The last Arthur VHS and final PBS Kids VHS I have is Arthur's Eyes. At Squidward in the Closet 9210. I know you used to have the book of this. For some reason, Arthur isn't doing very well in school anymore. Maybe he just needs glasses. Problem is, he doesn't want to be seen wearing them. Don't look now, but it appears as if Arthur started the trend. Francine's bad hair day. It's school picture day, and Muffy has been wearing some magic on her best friend. Is that really Francine in a dress, or is it some curly-haired look-alike? That does it for the VHSs. Now on to the DVDs, starting with the ones that are not exactly the worst, but not really my favorite, and working my way up to the best. So the first DVD we have on this roster is JJ the Jet Plane Adventures in Learning from 2002. Whether soaring through a magical cloud kingdom or tagging along with butterflies on their winter journey, come follow JJ and his friends as they take to the skies in an award-winning adventures guaranteed to deliver laughs, thrills, and good cheer. Collecting 5 heartwarming stories, JJ's good-natured adventures combine cutting-edge animation with charming humor, creating timeless tales the entire family will enjoy. The episodes consist of A Trip to Skylandia, JJ's Butterfly Adventure, JJ and the Magic Books, Tuffy's Trip to Pangabula, and Tuffy's Adventure in Pangabula. Those 2 Pangabula episodes revolving around Tuffy are basically sequels back to back. And this was distributed by Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment, yet it still has the PBS Kids logo with Dot and the website promo that's still. Next up is Curious George Takes a Vacation, released on DVD in 2008. Curious George loves to travel, and no matter where he goes, adventure is always waiting for him. and he's sharing it with you in a new collection of shows from his daytime Emmy-nominated hit PBS Kids TV series. Go exploring with George from the tip top of the big top to deep under the sea, and Curious George takes a vacation and discovers new things. The episodes consist of Curious George Takes a Vacation, Unbalanced, The Times of Sand, Curious George Takes a Dive, Curious George Sea Monkey, Curious George Sees Stars, Curious George and the Missing Piece, and Castle Keep. Curious George Takes a Vacation. The man with the yellow hat and George are going on vacation, but their plane is delayed and there's a long wait ahead. With all the sliding doors, moving sidewalks, luggage carousels, and beeping carts, George thinks that the airport is a great vacation destination. Unbalanced. The amazing balancing zucchinis are in town. George wants to be an acrobat too, but before he can join the troupe, he needs to save an allergic tightrope walker from a very determined Yoki. The Times of Sand. George and the man with the yellow hat are having a sandcastle contest at the beach, and George is determined to make the best castle ever. Now, if only he could keep the tide from washing away his masterpiece. Curious George Takes a Dive. George meets a turtle and decides to bring his new friend home. But the turtle isn't happy in the bathtub, and when George brings home fish and weeds and frogs to keep it company, the man with the yellow hat isn't very happy either. Curious George Sea Monkey. It's George's first underwater adventure when he investigates the wild world of life in a limestone coral reef. George is thrilled with all the colorful sights and sea life and even makes a few fishy friends. Curious George Sees Stars. George wants to count all the stars in the sky, but he just can't stay awake long enough to finish. And when he goes back to the city, it's even more difficult. The stars have disappeared. How will George keep count? Curious George and the Missing Piece. George discovers a bone buried in the ground, and he's convinced it's got to be part of a dinosaur skeleton. He tries to use his best scientific detective skills to match the bone to the animal, but Sharky keeps stealing it away. Castle Keep. George and the man with the yellow hat visit Uncle Tom in Scotland, and George can't wait to practice his swing of the castle golf course. But when a squirrel steals his ball, George goes on a wild chase through the castle and finds that all he needs is a little leverage. And the funding you can see here, Curious George was made possible by Shia Homes, Sun-Made Raisins, Amazon.com Grocery, and Chuck E. Cheese's. I know you guys are terrified of the WGBH logo, but it's everywhere now. The newer Curious George episodes just aren't that good these days, but I just look for the ones with the more classic episodes. Next up, we have Reading Rainbow, Man's Best Friend. Don't let the Martha Speaks book confuse you with the actual TV show, and don't get me started on it because I don't care about it at all. This is Reading Rainbow, not Martha Speaks. Reading Rainbow and Taxi Dog are the two books featured in it. Reading Rainbow brings great books to life on screen through rich illustrations and celebrity narrators. Each episode introduces kids to interesting new people and places and explores important social and cultural issues that offer kids a close-up look at the world around them. Episode 1, Martha Speaks, is a funny story of a dog who magically develops the ability to speak after eating alphabet soup. This amusing story teaches a subtle lesson in manners and has a happy outcome. Learn about dogs in movies and see life from a dog's view. See amazing dog tricks. Episode 2, The Adventures of Taxi Dog, shares tales from Maxie, a stray dog who is adopted by a New York City taxi cab driver. The story is told in rhyme and is sensitive and funny. Tour in New York City to learn about hailing taxis. Learn how a canine companion helps Lisa, a girl in a wheelchair. Bonus segments from these other Reading Rainbow episodes. Best Friends, Uncle Jed's Barbershop, The Day Jimmy's Boa Ate the Wash, Pet Stories, You Don't Have to Walk. This was released on DVD in the year 2006. Note that not all PBS Kids DVDs are released by PBS Kids, yet some may retain the funding or website promo or PBS logo, but it depends on the rights. Next up, we have Cyber Chase. Squidward in the Closet 90,210. I know you don't like Cyber Chase, but it's only fair because you have merchandise of Barney and Teletubbies, and I hate those shows, so this way we're both even. This came from a Hollywood Video, which is bankrupt now. This is Cyber Chase Codename Icky, released on DVD in 2004. Cyber Chase, like Curious George and Arthur, is still airing. The newer episodes just aren't that good. Same reason as Curious George's newer episodes and Arthur's newer episodes, although Arthur stopped earlier this year. Codename Icky, the kids and Digit must stop Hacker from capturing Icky, the giant cyber slug who feeds on pure energy. Unless the kids can reach Icky first, Hacker will use him to drain Motherboard's energy and disable her once and for all. Harriet Hippo and the Mean Green. Hacker infests Motherboard with a wicked new virus. Digit and the kids must find the wacky ingredients to make the antidote. Otherwise, all of cyberspace will turn mean and green just like Hacker. All of the luck. Collecting the 10 lucky charms of cyberspace turns Hacker's bad luck into good. When he starts to cause chaos everywhere, Motherboard sends the Cyber Squad to free the lucky charms from Hacker. See, here's the PBS logo on here, also with the Paramount logo. And next up, I have two Clifford the Big Red Dog 2000 DVDs. The first being Doggy Detectives, released on DVD in 2005. Yeah, like I thought. Doggy Detectives. Everybody loves a mystery, but you don't have a clue as to how much fun you will uncover by playing with Clifford. So get out your magnifying glass, put on your thinking cap, and get ready to follow the trails or tales. Episodes consist of The Kibble Crook, Doggy Detectives, Who Moved My Bone, To Catch a Bird, Mac's Secret Dog Club, The Truth About Dogs and Cats, Goodbye T-Bone, and Magic is in the Air. The second Clifford the Big Red Dog 2000 DVD I have is The New Baby on the Block. Funny how I got Arthur's baby, and now I have a Clifford video involving a baby. There's a new baby in the house, and Clifford is looking for ways to make the fun bigger, better, and redder than ever before. The whole family will learn gigantic ways to babysit, entertain, and be responsible for a little one. Get ready for a big, red, cuddly family adventure. It includes 8 stories. They consist of Baby Makes 4, A Job Well Read, Who Me Jealous, A Bunny in a Haystack, Babysitter Blues, He's Wonderful Mr. Bleakman, Getting to Know You, and No Bats for Cleo. This was released on DVD in 2006, a year after Doggy Detectives. I like how the cases ran on New Baby on the Block, unlike Doggy Detectives' case is black. And save the best for last. 4 of my favorite PBS kid shows minus The Electric Company 2009 on DVD. First up, we have George Shrieks, Coach Shrieks, released on DVD in 2005. So yeah. Clifford and George Shrieks were not really distributed by PBS, or were they? Correct me if I'm wrong. On DVD. The episodes of this consist of Toy George, Dog City Miss Daisy, and Down on the Bayou. Oddly no Coach Shrieks. Toy George. George's work on his production of Pinocchio is interrupted by the arrival of Skylar, the little cousin once removed. George ducks Skylar's attempts to get him to play with her until she tries to play with George as if he were a living toy. Finally, George has his cake and eats it too as he uses Pinocchio rehearsal to simultaneously entertain Junior and their cousin. Dog City Miss Daisy. George is in charge of planning a super surprise party for Becky, and everybody has a job to do. Becky's mom shows up with Becky's present, a puppy named Daisy, and asks George if he can watch the puppy until the party. George says no problem, but chaos ensues as George tries to take care of the rambunctious puppy and finish the party preparations in time. Down on the bayou, it's the annual Shrinks family camping trip, and this year it's extra special because Dad gives George his father's compass. Funny how it's called Coach Shrinks, but it's not on this DVD. Maybe I could be wrong if I ever get a chance to watch it. Next up, we have Adventures from the Book of Virtues, Honesty, released on DVD in 2008. George Shrinks and Adventures from the Book of Virtues are two underrated shows, yet part of my favorites from PBS Kids nonetheless. George Shrinks because it's amazing how a 3-inch tall boy can accomplish many things. Adventures from the Book of Virtues because it's a show about morality. And note that Adventures from the Book of Virtues and JJ the Jet Plane were both released by the now defunct Porchlight Entertainment. Spine. And this show was rerunning on Cubo at the time of this DVD release, and it was released on VHS in 1997, which I'll get eventually. The stories in Honesty consist of George Washington and the Cherry Tree, The Frog Prince, and the Indian Cinderella, Story of Honesty. When Zach Nichols breaks one of his father's cameras, he concocts a story to escape blame. The second episode in this DVD consists of Respect. When Zach and Annie are rude to a friendly junkyard man who is helping them build a go-kart, they must learn the meaning of respect. The stories told in Respect were Please, Diamonds and Toads, and the Bellavatory, although Please was not listed on the back cover. And the last episode in this DVD is Humility. When Annie wins the class presidency, the power goes to her head, prompting Plato to tell the classic story of imperial arrogance, the Emperor's New Clothes. The stories, of course, were told Emperor's New Clothes and Phaeton. And you can see Sock the Bobcat on the back cover of this, and he turned out to be the voice of Curious George, aka Frank Welker, and this show came out a decade before Curious George. And also, Kevin Michael Richardson, who voiced Plato, voiced Dr. Baker in my favorite Curious George episode, Dr. Monkey / Curious George the Architect. Also, the voice of Ari the Prairie Dog, Jim Cummings, also happened to be the voice of Chef Piscetti. So Curious George and Adventures from the Book of Virtues have things in common, as Adventures from the Book of Virtues and JJ the Jet Plane were both distributed by Porchlight Entertainment. And Adventures from the Book of Virtues and the 2009 remake of The Electric Company also had characters named Annie, as well as both Book of Virtues and Dragon Tales having characters named Zack, although it's spelled differently. Rounding out my PBS Kids VHS and DVD collection is Zabumafu, 6 full episodes from the hit series created by the Kratt Brothers. Sorry about that. Title says it all. This was released on DVD in 2006. No, wait, 2008, my mistake. Zabumafu is the first wildlife series created special for preschoolers. A lively mix of animation, guessing games, and songs create an energetic learning environment that will engage both parent and child alike. 6 episodes, 30 minutes each. The episodes consist of Fling, Slimy Buddies, Fast and Slow, Giants, Bears, and I Spy. Fling, monkey business abounds when a white-fronted capuchin monkey who loves to play catch comes to Animal Junction. Slimy Buddies, Chris, Martin, and Zabu can't get enough of slimy creatures, including frogs, salamanders, and earthworms. Fast and Slow, when a cheetah visits Animal Junction, Chris, Martin, and Zabu try to join the Cheetah Coalition. Giants, when 3 capybaras arrive for a visit, Zabu's amazed to find out that these water creatures are giant rodents. The gang discovers the world is full of giants, great and small. Bears, Chris, Martin, and Zabu care for a black bear cub and help an adult bear prepare for its long winter's naps. I Spy, the gang talks about seeing and being seen when a pair of black jaguar cubs comes for a visit. And last but not least is Dragon Tales Say Hola to Enrique, released on DVD in 2006. And funny how I just mentioned that Adventures from the Book of Virtues and Dragon Tales both have characters named Zack, and Adventures from the Book of Virtues and JJ the Jet Plane were both produced by Porchlight Entertainment. Well, Dragon Tales, Sesame Street, and the 2009 remake of Electric Company were produced by Sesame Workshop. There's the spine. Teach your children positive lessons about emotions and behavior through the fun and friendly characters of Dragon Tales. In Say Hola to Enrique, children will learn how to positively interact with new friends and welcome them into their already established group of playmates. Episodes consist of To Fly with a New Friend Part 1, To Fly with a New Friend Part 2, Feliz Cumpleaños Enrique, Super Snow Day, and All Together Now. And that wraps up my PBS Kids VHS and DVD collection as of December 15th, 2023. I hope to get more, so be on the lookout. And that's the end of this video.